I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 70. And today we're talking about life by design. And you hear me talk about this all the time. I mean, I talk about living life by design instead of by default. And that is awesome, right? But let's actually talk today about what that actually looks like, right? Because see, the scripture says that you want to have faith with works, right? But you also got to have works with faith, right? And so the two have to go hand in hand. You got to have the faith and do the work, but you also got to do the work and have the faith. Because if you do the work but you don't have the faith, it's not going to happen. But if you have the faith but you don't do the work, it's still not going to happen. And so today I thought maybe we do a little bit of a dream building exercise. And so, like, what I want you to do, and hey, you could even try this now, but not if you're driving. If you're driving, don't close your eyes, right? But if you're stationary, you're safe, everything is good, close your eyes. And I want you to design your life. Or better yet, even if you don't close your eyes, grab a piece of paper and I want you to start designing your life. You know, it's interesting. My wife and I, we used to do this often when we were dating. We would just talk about what our life is going to be like in 5 years and then in 10 years. And we were just kind of like mentally imagining, but also planning at the same time, like where would we live and how would we live and all this other stuff. And it was fun, right? And so I encourage you to turn on your imagination switch and start to imagine what's your day, how you want your day to look like, right? Like you get to wake up and do whatever you want to do, right? Because see, the thing is, most of us, we can't even fathom that because our day is so filled with things that we do not want to do, right? We just do it because we have to, because it pays the bills. But what if you could wake up and do what you really want to? And a deposit is going to come in that day, which is more than what you typically would make in a week. Or hey, let's go big. That what if that deposit for that day was more than what you used to make in a whole month, right? And you did it in a day. And that is highly possible, right? But first off, you got to believe that it's possible. You got to see it. You got to conceptualize it in your head. See what it looks like. Feel what it feels like, right? And then you're going to start to draw and attract those things into play, of course, with the works, right? And so, you know, like what time are you going to get up? Are you going to have an alarm clock, or are you going to be like me and you just don't use an alarm clock because you wake up when you're done sleeping, right? Um, are you, when you do get up, what's going to be your DMO, your daily method of operation, your daily routine? And you're going to have passive flows of income that come in, but you may still have to do a little bit of work toward that, to keep that thing flowing and keep it coming, right? But it's nothing strenuous. It's nothing crazy. It's not going into a building, right? You get to do it all from home, right? I know I have partners and they built home offices on their property, right? or you just have an office and you just walk to your office, right? From the bedroom to your office. How cool is that? How's that for rush hour traffic, right? But just imagine that. Like imagine you walk to your office, you get your coffee or whatever you do, you spend some time in the morning with the father, right? Of course, maybe you get a little exercise in before you go do some work. I don't know. You get your breakfast, you eat. I'm not here to design your day. But what I'm saying is I want you to literally design that day on a piece of paper. And as you're doing it, you're gonna get excited about it because you're like, wow, this is cool. This is what I want my life to be like. Right. And so I want you to just start to go through those motions and start to feel what it would feel like as you're planning. And I'm telling you, it's going to be the most gratifying feeling. But now it's time. Once you write it down, it's time to go to work, right? It's I'm not talking about any kind of hocus pocus. We got to go to work, right? So what are we going to start building and doing to create that lifestyle? And it's got to be that magnificent obsession. You heard me talk about it often, but it's got to be something that's on the forefront of your mind. You see it, you can feel it, you can taste it, and now it's just up to you to just go out there and do the work, right? And hey, it may not be overnight, it may take a little while, but are we going to stick and stay so we can get our pay? Are we going to continue to press so that we can make it happen in the way that we want it to happen? Or are we going to just divert back to old habits, divert back to life as usual or normal, right? Let's live an abnormal life. Let's live an outstanding life, an excellent life, um, what do we call it? Uh, Extraordinary, right? Not just ordinary, but an extraordinary. Put the extra on it, right? You can live that life, but first you got to design it, right? I'm telling you, this is going to be so exciting once you do it because you'll be able to really feel the feelings of, man, this is my life. This is the life that I actually designed. I designed it on paper. I mean, think about it. When you build a house, you got to write it on paper. You got to put a blueprint together. This is your blueprint for what your life is going to be like. It amazes me that we'll put a blueprint in place for a vacation. We'll put a blueprint in place for a birthday party or going out of town or just different things like that. But we won't put a blueprint in place for our own life. We'll let somebody else put a blueprint in place. No more, right? We get to decide. You get to decide, but you got to put it on paper and then you got to go do the work. And I would say consult mentors, consult coaches, uh, get those people in your corner to help you and guide you, move you along. Get some workout partners or accountability partners to make sure that you do what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you, right? And then watch how fast things start to happen. Watch how you move closer to that thing that you want because you actually wrote out your freedom plan, right? Have a freedom date, right? We all have a date with destiny. It's just up to us to keep the appointment. So, will you keep your appointment with your own destiny? That is what we're here to talk about. And I'm so excited because when you put this plan in place, like I said, you are going to be smiling big. You're going to be feeling good because it's like it's exactly what you want, right? It's like to me how I love reading now, not because of the reading itself, but who I become in the process. But that's because I get to read the books that I want to read versus the books I was told I had to read for school, right? That really had no relevance or any interest for the most part, because I didn't want to read it, right? I didn't have anything that I could uh, match it up to that would say, "Hey, I want to read this because," right? But here, same thing, right? Like typically our lives are because we have to. Now it's because we get to because we want to. So it just becomes more gratifying. And I know that feeling and I can't wait for you to have that same feeling. So listen, this has been another episode of Code Freedom. I hope you got some value. Share this with some friends, share it with a family member. Make sure you tell other people about it because listen, we may go ahead and shout your name out, tag us on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you see us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Code Freedom. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.